It looks so bootleg. It's crazy. There's more coming, but I mean, what can you do? There's nothing I can really do about it. Hi everyone, my name is Jason Anderson, and that feels really weird to have to introduce myself because you're probably here by way of me begging to you on my Instagram to come this way. So, thank you. I hope you don't click off by now. This is actually gonna be kind of good. I'm gonna try to do my best to bring you some cool content like on a weekly basis. I hope, I really hope, but at least every other Monday we're gonna do this. This is called Multifaceted. So for those of you who may not know me, my name is Jason Anderson, and I'm a database of pop culture, useless pop culture knowledge. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, well, why not just kind of share some of this like cool stuff? Because unlike most, like some of my family might have been part of it. So we'll kind of get to that, but it's kind of cool to get a behind the scenes for some awesome stuff and cool events. And you know, I hope to be joined by some really cool friends along the way, and welcome to my multifaceted world. And I want to kick this off with my favorite thing, well, one of my favorite things, and it's Captain EO.
The wizardry of Lucas, the mastery of Coppola, the phenomenal music and dance of Michael Jackson. Captain EO. In spectacular 3D. Now play at Walt Disney World Epcot Center and nowhere else in the universe.
Which was the first 4D ride at Disneyland. And Captain EO was starring Michael Jackson, you know. And it was a space opera written by George Lucas and directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Where is the loss? How are you gonna lose there? There's just no way. And you know, it's been a big part of my life ever since I've been going to Disneyland. My parents were huge Disneyland aficionados, and ever since I can remember, I was always in Disneyland with my brothers and sisters. And I was born in 1983. My father worked with Michael in the Jacksons in 1984, which is the Victory Tour. So that was like a major moment in music. And you know, so my dad spent some time with Michael, and Michael had an affinity for Disneyland as well. So my dad used to tell me that they would go to Disneyland and Michael would, you know, obviously be in disguise, and his favorite ride was Big Thunder Railroad. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. Even though that's like in my heart of hearts, that's mid, because like, you know, Big Thunder Railroad, no way. You kind of do it if it's like 15-minute wait, but like, I'm not waiting 30 minutes for Big Thunder. Like, give me Space Mountain, and I mean, while we're here, give me Guardians on the other side. That's the only two that matter. Just kidding, I love every other ride, but you know, it was cool that Michael loved Disneyland and always went, so he kind of got the notion that, oh, well, why not? Why not just work with him? And at the time, the head of Disney was Michael Eisner, and Michael Eisner was basically responsible. He's the reason why we have ESPN and ABC with Disney. He's like the main driving force behind all those like crazy mergers. So dude knew what he was doing. So him and Michael come together, and they had some interesting names to start off. I think one of them was goodness gracious, one sec. Yeah. So one of the names was going to be called the Intergalactic Music Man, and let me tell you just off top how whack that is. Like, my goodness, I'm so glad that that was never a thing. But like, who's gonna like, hey, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna see Intergalactic Music Man. That's just really boring. The second title was going to be Space Knights, but that's not as bad. But I'm glad they settled on Captain EO, because the Intergalactic Music Man sounds like something on PBS that you fall asleep to, like that you put on at 3 in the morning when you have insomnia. Holler if you hear me. But yeah, so Captain EO at the time was the most expensive 17-minute film. I think it cost like $20 million. They had to do like they had to make like a kind of like a ride apparatus for when EO and the crew were in the spaceship. And obviously when you have the mind of George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola and Michael Jackson, you're gonna get some like, oh yeah, well if we gotta do this, and then like obviously that costs money, and like those guys are like high quality dudes. Those are like, so could imagine how expensive that was in pre and post production. Not to mention this was a 3D film and had to be 4D. Bananas. But about the film, so while you're here, the film is in the description, but I might as well just tell you about Captain EO. And don't worry, I'm not going to take too long. I'm going to do these videos the same way I like to watch videos, just pertinent information, not too much fluff around it, and hopefully you don't scroll past. Jesus, you probably will, but whatever, that's fine. Whatever, I'll live. But so about Captain EO, it starts off, he's a space captain, obviously. I'm gonna try to not be so obvious, but so it starts off, he is the captain of a ragtag crew, and they consist of Major and Mighty Domo, who is a larger and smaller robot, the Geeks, who are Idy and Odie, who are two-headed, I don't know what the hell that is. Hooter is a perky pachyderm, basically a musty elephant. And Fuzzball, which is your registered, he's like adorable. Like, if you can, there's a Hooter and a Fuzzball right behind me. Yes, I'm a grown-ass man, and there's 2 plush dolls behind me. It's all good. Don't even worry about it. I got this. So if they don't, they're supposed to, their mission is to deliver a gift to the Supreme Leader. And there's no real backstory in Captain EO, so you're just kind of like, whatever, this Michael Jackson, man, we know what he's about to do. He's not about to go in there and like do some diplomacy shit. They get captured and by the Queen's like patrolmen in the menacing ship. They get down to where the Queen is, and it looks super dystopian. Something like out of Star Wars, like fresh out of George Lucas's mind, where you can see like the inner workings of like a Sith Lord like prison ship. Imagine that. So they get to the Witch Queen, and you know they have that little back and forth, and he's like, oh, I have a gift for you. And she's like, oh, let me see this gift. And it's like, you know, so then you really see the band like hold their own, because that's when Major and Mighty Domo turn into basically half the whole damn band.
Not only see, Your Highness, but hear.
Major turns into a guitar, a drum set, a microphone stand. Mighty turns into keyboards, and then Hooter plays Mighty, which is mad weird when you think about it, but it was 1986 and nobody was thinking like that. But so the Geeks were playing Major Domo. This is now it's sounding crazier as I'm older. But so Mike gets in this song, and Fuzzball's playing the guitar. They're just rocking. And he starts, "We Are Here to Change the World," which at the time you couldn't buy that on anywhere. He didn't have it on any of his albums. That's like a Disneyland exclusive, which is super hard. Which kind of goes to this idea that I'm gonna bring up at the end of the video. Like, I have this really brilliant idea for Disney Imagineers. Please pay me for this. So We Are Here to Change the World is barely got released in 2004, and it's a forever jam. It's just like a good mood music. And so she's starting to weaken until she calls out her Whip Warriors, who apparently listen to country music, but he's storing his energy, and they're just like, nah, bro, that's not gonna work. Doesn't work here, partner. And it's kind of funny when you like, if you read the synopsis of Captain EO, because like they say that, oh, his crew is abandoning him, and it's like, no, nobody ran. Like, he was the one who was getting ready to split until that gate closed. Like, bro was out of there. He was gonna leave everybody. They was just playing music. He was about to split. Like, I'm gonna be in the car. This is like super dulo if you think about it. But it was so if you think about like to speed it up to current times, which is now past times as well, which is kind of funny. Captain EO's team is like the Bulls. So obviously MJ's MJ, and Scottie Pippen. The Scottie Pippen role is Fuzzball. Fuzzball is like the cleanup guy, and we're gonna give Dennis Rodman. We're gonna give Hooter Dennis Rodman. Everyone else in the Bulls team. If you can remember anyone else outside of that Bulls team, Tony Kukoc. Yeah, great. Luke Longley, awesome. Damn, I don't know anybody else. Sorry, guys. But yeah, so who comes to the rescue of Michael Jordan all the time? Scottie Pippen. Who comes to the rescue of Captain EO? Fuzzball. So Fuzzball. Okay. So who comes to the rescue of Captain EO? Fuzzball. He does some magic. I'm not gonna tell you. You should watch the film. And Michael, EO turns to those the Whip Warriors into robots, and they do the hardest pop locking scene, featuring two legends, Poppin' Taco and Poppin' Pete from Breakin' and Breakin' 2. Like, and when Pete, it's kind of dope. It's funny. It's like one of those tropes I noticed. When he like electrifies or like ignites Pete, they have like the black guy bass line. You're gonna hear that a lot. It's like boom, 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 boom. But wow, that's a terrible bass line. I hope my future wife doesn't hear me do that and disown me. It really gets better, babe. I promise. But yeah, so obviously it's an MJ film. He's not gonna take an L. He ends up doing what he needs to do to bring balance to the Supreme Leader's place, and he splits, and they all dance, and that's when they have Another Part of Me, and that's movie out, and you're just like on a super high. So for me, the importance of it was like, that was the first thing that my dad used to take me to do when we went to Disneyland as a family, and there was a bunch of us. I'm the baby of 8, so I have 4 brothers and 3 sisters, and we were avid travelers, so we would always go to Disneyland, and we'd go to Florida, and my dad my dad was a bodyguard to a lot of the stars, so that allowed for us to do a lot of cool stuff, as you'll see kind of throughout this whole world that I'm going to take you through. But it was always like mandatory, because that would be the first thing that it would go without saying, like, we're gonna go do Captain EO when we go there. So it was like a bond that me and my pop had. I lost him in 2009 due to leukemia, if you don't know. But yeah, they brought it back, which is crazy enough, after Michael passed. And so it was a Captain EO tribute, so you got to see it again. And now it's gone, and it's gone forever. But it kind of got me thinking that the idea of Captain EO, it would be brilliant to execute today. I think that there's something in the beginning of when he says we're gonna get drummed out of the core, that means there's more than just him. Now you have so many like icons today. I'm thinking the first person that comes to mind who I wouldn't mind seeing, I don't want to see another Captain EO per se. I want to see like someone who's in, just like in the core, like, I don't name it something else. Just don't make it Captain EO. Don't do a reboot. It sucks. I would hate a reboot. But give me like Beyonce in like her own type storyline where she's got to like do the same thing with like a bunch of like chauvinistic dudes or some stuff like Who Run the World Girls. I totally agree. But like, I think something like that would be super awesome for the kids to do. And Disney does have the space. They're not utilizing the space in Tomorrowland currently. It's just kind of like a desolate theater. Well, nobody's using the space anywhere, but if you shot something, which shouldn't be super duper expensive to shoot a 4D type film with an icon like Beyonce and just keep switching it out, you can do it in different continents of the world. This would be a great opportunity for Disney to work with like icons of today to bring in some more people to like. I would go see a Captain EO starring Beyonce, or a Captain EO type film starring Beyonce. I think she has the star power. I think she has the voice. I think she has the move. I would love to see all of that with the new filmmakers of today, like I don't know, whoever directed The Mandalorian, like, do that. Everyone who has something to do with The Mandalorian, do something with Beyonce as a Captain EO-esque. And then as far as, let's have Wendy and Lisa do the composition. Let's have them do the original soundtrack, because fuck yeah, that would be crazy. Because that would make like Beyonce like Prince-esque. What? Oh wait, I don't know if MJ would like that. Sorry dog, but come on, bury the hatchet. I think that would be brilliant. You can have the same cast, the same supporting cast that Captain EO had. Now, a lot of people don't really realize that there was a pretty heavy supporting cast around Michael Jackson when he did Captain EO. Like, Hooter was played by Tony Cox, and Tony Cox. Like, he was in Bad Santa. He was Me, Myself, and Irene. He's also Mr. Parker from Friday.
Oh man, come on, goddamn man! Get up, get on up, just wake up, hands on up, stay on the scene. Baby, we were just playing. I wish I could. Get on up, you. Get up, oh man, I'm killing you. Baby, we just playing. Get you. Oh, get up, yeah. Goddamn devil.
He's also in Martin, in one of my favorite episodes where they jump Tommy. Then you had Lisa Sorensen and Debbie Carrington, I think. Let me just double check. I don't want to kill their name off. Yeah, so Wendy, I think it's Wendy Sorensen and Debbie Carrington. Okay. Then you had Wendy Sorensen and Debbie Carrington, who were the geeks, and they were also Ewoks in Return of the Jedi. So there's a lot of that, Lucas influence in Captain EO. And then you had Dick Shawn, who was, first of all, what an amazing name. Like, hello. He was he was a snow miser in A Year Without Santa Claus. He's Mr. Snow Miser. What? Come on. That's killer. I mean, think about it, like Angelica Houston, who was the witch. She was the supreme leader. She was Morticia Addams in the Addams Family. Like, come on now. That's all you need to know. Caramia. Say it with me. But I mean, there's more than enough people today who can be a dope supporting cast to someone like that. Obviously, Kevin Hart would definitely be fun to see in that type role, and it's almost like you're immortalized in Disneyana, and I feel like a person like Beyonce could do it. I'm not sure. Let me know who you think would be that type of person. I also see a Lady Gaga having that type of gravitas to be able to play that type of role. But I mean, I think that it would be really cool to get a new breed of pop star in there, you know? I think the funniest parts about like Captain EO is like there's two things they were worried about. They were worried about how many times Michael was gonna grab his shit. He's gonna grab his his jaw. And no. I think the funniest parts of like the behind the scenes and like the turmoil of Captain EO is like Michael's voice, his speaking voice, and the fact that he used to like, you know, grab his joint all the time. Obviously Disney's a family owned company, very family friendly, and they don't take well to dude grabbing his joint like that. So I totally understand it. But the speaking voice thing makes me laugh because you guys know Michael's speaking voice isn't like, it's not manly by any approximation, but it's kind of funny that Disney wanted to change it to make it seem like more menacing. You imagine if they did like I mean, I'm laughing just thinking about like James Earl Jones as Captain EO. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense, like, whatsoever. But I still would have watched that shit because Michael would have sang. I'm laughing because I'm thinking of James Earl Jones as like with Michael Jackson's like body. Very funny to me. But yeah. Another cool factor for Captain EO is they had Rick Baker. Rick Baker did Fuzzball. So I don't know if you're a film nerd or a special effects nerd. Like, I love special effects and like makeup artists for some reason. Like Tom Savini, Rick Baker, those guys are like Greg Nicotero. Those are like the pinnacle, like top guys. And Rick already had a working relationship with Michael. He did all the makeup for Thriller. So they did Fuzzball, which was super duper duper dope. Like, when all those like pieces come together, it just creates a super dope tower. Like, I love when stuff comes together like that. Sometimes it sucks though, and you get a movie like Valentine's Day, but then sometimes you get a Captain EO. So life's all about balance, right? I do feel like that Disney should release a Blu-ray of Captain EO, like a 3D Blu-ray of Captain EO. I'm not sure why, but they probably will see this and they're just like, oh yeah, we're running out of bread. Yes. Here is a special edition Blu-ray copy of Captain EO. But cool, that's fine by me. I definitely want it to, I don't want to just have to watch it on YouTube in such like a grainy copy. One of them's even, I think, like translated and there's like subtitles in French, and like I want to be able to show my kids a crispy copy of Captain EO equipped with that Whoopi Goldberg behind the scenes special that I love so much. Pops taped that for me, and that holds near and dear. And it's also really dope BTS for the people who like dig Captain E or like knowing things of that nature. But yeah, so this was my very first go. This was the first World of Multifaceted, World 1-1. Reason why it's 1-1 and why it's called Worlds, it's because like Super Mario, you start somewhere 1-1 and you're just super small and you have to grow till you get to Bowser, till you get to the big boss. And I'm gonna keep slaying the level 1 dragons and Koopas and whatever else comes my way. But looking back, that's kind of a weak analogy, but I don't know. I'm gonna come up with better analogies along the way, but I hope you stick along. Stick along. Sometimes I talk like Paul Rudd from I Love You Man, so please bear with me if I say something like Jobin. This is a learning curve for me as well. But yeah, so I'm Jason, and you can find me on my Instagram at Jason, and that's the only thing I'm gonna promote because I know nobody else wants to give me my username, and so no. I also tweet, but you can find me on Twitter. My tweets are very problematic, so, and I tweet sporadically because people steal my jokes. Ooh, it's on a tangent. So yeah, that was, I had a good time explaining that. I hope you learned a little something, or I don't know, I hope you just wanted to stare at me for 27 some odd minutes, talk about something that you probably never saw and you're probably just now gonna see. But hey, drop me a line if you want to talk about it. Maybe you know some more fun facts about it. Maybe you were in it. If you were in it, like, definitely like holler at me because I want to know some cool stuff. Not anything salacious because I don't like stuff like that. Let TMZ do what TMZ does, but I'm not gonna be doing that type of stuff. But the things you can look forward to, Multifaceted, is more content like this. So this is, kind of my theme park realm. Like did you know type things. I'm gonna be doing some gaming. I'm gonna be talking about collectibles. I'm gonna be talking about collectibles, meaning like toys and figures and whatnot. We'll be talking about fashion. We'll be talking about sports. I have hopefully have some great athletes on here to talk to you about some interesting like things that are maybe not just surrounded around athletics. We're gonna talk about nostalgia. Nostalgia is my jam, so this is what it's all about. And the reason why it's called multifaceted is because you have to have many different facets. There's so much to us, and why not just set yourself free and just like start talking about it. Maybe you might find a friend, maybe you might find an audience, you never know. Maybe you might find yourself. But I don't know. We're here, and thanks for joining. And you can find me at JAZEN. And I do have a Patreon, but like let's just hang out first. And this hat is limited drops. It is my hat company, and I love it dearly. It's a love story to your city. So this is Hawaii, and I have a really special place in my heart for Hawaii. But I'm from Los Angeles, so I definitely have an LA set. Shout out to Gerard Lewis and Weir Walter. I absolutely love this shirt. I hope you join me for many more of these. Look out for me just posting more content here. You can check me out more on multifaceted.world. And yeah, I hope you have a good one. Stay safe. Much love.